Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about how you can fix sinky legs. I'm going to explain what sinky legs are, what this can mean for your swimming, the common causes, so what things can cause you to have sinky legs, and more importantly, how you can fix it. So what are sinky legs? So simply, sinky legs are where, if this is your head and this is your legs, while you're swimming along, your legs are a lot lower in the water. And you end up swimming with a body position where your legs are a little bit lower or sunk down at the back end of your stroke. So what does this do? So if you've got sinky legs, so if your legs are lower than your head, what happens is you end up causing a lot of drag. So as you're swimming forwards in the water, instead of having a nice streamlined body position, what happens is your legs sink down and there's a lot more surface area you have to try and overcome. And water is about 800 times more dense than air. So because the water is really dense, you end up fighting against the water rather than going with it. So the more streamlined you can be through the water, the quicker you're going to go. And if you're like this, you're going to have to fight a lot more to get the same speed out of your swim stroke. So there's four main things I'm going to talk about. So the first one is maybe kicking too hard. If you kick too hard, especially from the knees, so if this is your legs and your knee, sometimes if you kick like this, you kick really hard, what that does, it makes you a lot more tense, and then your legs will drop down. So the more you tense up while you're kicking, even really tense, your legs drop down. If you've ever tried to float on the water, then the best way to do that is to try and relax, and the more you relax, the more you try and float. So that's one of the easiest things you can do to try and get your legs up. Sometimes a result, or one of the reasons why people kick so hard, is they have quite a slow arm cadence. So if you've got a really overreachy swim stroke like this, where you're really over gliding, then because this is the strongest part of your swim stroke, where you're actually pulling back and getting a lot of power through your stroke there. So if you're not very powerful there, and when you're over gliding, you're not actually getting any power in your swim stroke. And then what people do to compensate that, they start to kick harder. And again, we just said, if you kick harder, then you tense up, etc. So sometimes the slow arm cadence causes you to kick, which then can cause you to tense up and your legs sink down. So that's the second reason. The third cause of sinky legs can be holding onto your breath in your swim stroke. So as you're holding onto that breath, it makes you more buoyant at the front end of your stroke, and because the front end's slightly more buoyant, your legs can drop down a little bit. So this also can cause you to have little sinky legs. So looking forwards at the end of the pool is another reason why you can drop your legs. If your head's in a nice relaxed position, as soon as you start to bring that head up and look forward, your legs start to drop in the water, because you're bringing your head up and your body just drops down. So how do we actually fix it? Well, if you kick too hard, simply just put a pull buoy in. So that's going to do two things. One, just by putting the pull buoy in there and isolating your legs, so no kicking at all, you're going to get much more efficient in your arm stroke, and you're going to realise that swimming's a lot easier the easier you kick. I know, right? Sounds wrong, but the more you kick, the more that is going to make you tense, and you're going to slow down. So it helps you to realise you don't need to kick quite so hard to actually go faster. And then the second thing you can do is a simple drill called push and glide. So start from the side of the pool, push off, tuck your head in, and just try and relax. And what happens is you try and get your body position just coming up on top of the water like this. This is the nice relaxed position you want to be in when you're swimming. So it stops you from kicking too hard and tensing up. So push, let yourself pop up on the water, and then just glide. Add to this is by just letting yourself pop up on the water, and then really engaging the glutes to just introduce a small kick. And you start to get the idea that you can kick from the glutes with a nice strong kick. I talked before about having kind of a kick from the knees, but a nice long kick by engaging the glutes. Okay, so squeeze your bum cheeks together, and then just try and keep those legs nice and long, and then it'll be a nice relaxed kick, and that means you won't kick quite so hard. And if you can fix the arm stroke at the front end with the pull buoy that I talked about then, so the more you start to get the power from the front end of your stroke, the less likely you are to need to kick anyway. And then again, this solves two problems just by increasing the arm stroke, increasing the power, relaxing off the legs, means you're not going to tense up. For holding onto your breath, just practice that really good strong exhalation. The first step can be just having an awareness of it. So be aware that you're holding on to that breath. So when you're arm stroke, nice strong breath. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And it might seem like a conscious thing at the beginning, and it has to be if you're changing something. But if you're breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, eventually it becomes second nature, and you'll do it without even realizing. And the more you can do that, the more you'll relax, the more you'll let go of that breath. And again, you won't be so buoyant at the front end, and you'll start to get a better position in the water. And the last thing was a head position. So try the different positions. So try looking forward and see if that's what you do. Try looking completely down in the water, so swimming with your head completely looking at the bottom of the pool. And then you can have awareness of where you have your head position at the moment. And ideally what you want to do is have your head somewhere in between. You'll start to realise where you actually look, and it could be a simple way to try and solve this problem. So sometimes if you swim in a club session, you're oftentimes looking at the person in front of you to make sure that you don't smash into them. And without realising, you end up looking down the end of the pool. So just by relaxing that head position off, so rather than like this, looking forwards, if you just relax the head position off, it can just give you a slightly better body shape. So give it a go, let me know how you go on. Try those 4 drills, and then hopefully, you should see some good results with them. I hope they make a big difference to your swimming. Let me know how you get on. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.